morning, everyone, and welcome to High Five, where we are going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fun activities together. Today we are going to sing Bread and Butter. We're going to do the Grand Old Duke of York. We will sing the Beaver Song. We will do Wind, Oh Wind using scarves, and we will tell the story of the Mixed Up Chameleon. You can find timestamps for all of those activities down in the descriptions in the YouTube video. Now today we are going to be using a scarf like this one, so before we get started, see if you can find a smallish piece of cloth that's kind of light, but anything will really work. And even a facial tissue will work perfectly well. So I'll let you grab one of those and then we'll get started. 1. Let's say hello to each other with an awesome song called Bread and Butter. When I yell something loud, you yell something loud. And when I say something quiet, you say something quiet. Okay? So we are going to sing it together. It's really easy to follow along. You just need to do this with your hands. Awesome. Bread and butter and marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as loud as we can. Hello! Nice. Bread and butter and marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as quiet as we can. Hello. Bread and butter and marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as fast as we can. Hello. Bread and butter and marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as slow as we can. Hello. Awesome. One more. Bread and butter and marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as high as we can. Hello. Bread and butter and marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as low as we can. Hello. Awesome. 2. Let's do an action song. We're going to do the Grand Old Duke of York, which is one of our favorite bouncing songs to use in Mother Goose on the Loose. In Mother Goose on the Loose, we'll have an adult sitting in a chair or on the floor with a kid in their lap. But if you're not going to be sitting in a lap, you get to be the grown-up, and then you get to have a stuffy be the kid. All right? Let's do the Grand Old Duke of York. Ready? Oh, the Grand Old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill and he marched them down again. And when they were up, they were up. And when they were down, they were down. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down. Oh, the Grand Old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill and he marched them down again. And when they were up, they were up. And when they were down, they were down. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down. Woo! Way to go! 3. That means it's time for a puppet to come visit. Let's see who it is today. Oh, I see who it is. It's the beaver, and that means it's time for the Beaver Song. All right, are you ready? Put your hands out in front of you like this. Ready? Beaver 1, beaver all, let's all do the beaver crawl. Beaver 2, beaver 3, let's all climb the beaver tree. Beaver 4, beaver 5, let's all do the beaver jive. Beaver 6, beaver 7, let's all go to beaver heaven. Beaver 8, beaver 9, stop! It's beaver time. Na 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 na. Nah, can't touch this. 4. Let's get our scarves out now. This is one of my favorite songs for when we've been very excited and we want to calm down a little bit. This is called Wind, Oh Wind. So hold on to your scarf. Wind, oh wind, I say, what are you blowing away today? The scarves, the scarves, the scarves, I say. I am blowing the scarves away. One more time. Wind, oh wind, I say, what are you blowing away today? The scarves, the scarves, the scarves, I say, I am blowing the scarves away. 5. Let's tell a story. Today we're going to tell the story of The Mixed Up Chameleon by Eric Carle. You might recognize the look of this cover because Eric Carle is the person who wrote and illustrated our favorite, The Very Hungry Caterpillar. We're not going to tell the story using the pages in the book today. We are going to tell it from our memory and using the flannel board. Maybe this is something that you can try to do with your favorite stories at home. Once, sitting on a shiny green leaf, there was a small green chameleon. It moved and went and sat on a brown tree, and the chameleon became brown. It moved again, and it sat on a red flower, and the chameleon turned red. It moved again, and it went and it sat on the yellow sand. And what color did it turn? You guessed it, yellow. You could hardly even see it. When it was warm and full, it looked shiny and green. But when it was cold and hungry, it kind of turned gray. When the chameleon was really hungry and looking for something to eat, it would sit very still, and it would look one way and the other way. And when it saw a fly, its tongue would shoot out and it would catch the fly and eat it. And that was its whole life. It wasn't very exciting. Then one day, the chameleon, who was green, was walking along, and it saw a zoo. And a zoo is full of animals it had never seen before. It looked at all the different animals, and it saw a big white bear. It was a polar bear. It looked at it and said, "Oh, I really wish that I could be big and white like a polar bear." And boop, it worked. The chameleon turned big and white like a polar bear. Oh, it kept walking. It looked and it saw a pink bird, a flamingo, and it said, "Oh, how I wish that I could be beautiful and handsome like a flamingo." And pop, it worked. So you got 2 long pink legs, oh, and 2 pink wings. Wow, does that look handsome? I guess so. Well, it kept walking, and the next thing it saw was a clever red fox. And the chameleon said, "Oh wow, I wish I could be smart like a fox." And pop! It worked. And it got a red tail with a white tip, just like a fox. It kept walking, and what did it see next? It saw something swimming in the water. It saw a fish. And it said, "Oh, I really wish I could swim like a fish." And what happened? Pop! It worked. So it got another tail, and it got some fins. And where could these other 2 fins go? I guess here and here. Wow, starting to look pretty mixed up. But it kept walking, and it saw something big and brown with some antlers on its head. It saw a deer, and it was running really fast. And the chameleon said, "Oh wow, I really wish I could run fast like a deer." So, pop! It got some brown antlers. Well, I thought it looked pretty handsome. It kept walking though, and it saw something very tall and yellow and kind of orange colored. It saw a giraffe. And the chameleon said, "Oh, look at that. It looks like it can see things all the way far away because it's so high up. I wish I could do that." And it worked. Pop! It grew a big, long giraffe neck. Wow. What do you think? Is that a handsome looking chameleon? I think so. All right, it kept walking though, and it saw something small in a little shell. It was all green. It saw a turtle. And the chameleon said, "Oh, I wish I could hide inside a shell when I wanted to, just like the turtle." And pop! It worked. So it got a shell on top of all of those things. Let's put its wings out here. So it looks pretty cool. Wow, it's looking pretty mixed up. He kept walking though, and the next thing he saw was really big and strong looking. It had a big nose like this, a trunk. It was an elephant. And the chameleon said, "Oh wow, I wish I could be strong like an elephant." So, pop! He got an elephant head. Wow, look at this creature. That is pretty spectacular. You think it was done? It wasn't. It still kept walking. And the next thing it saw was playing around in the water and clapping its fins like this and going, "Arr, arr, 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 arr." It was a seal. And the chameleon said, "Oh, that looks pretty funny. I wish I could be funny like a seal." So, pop! It grew some flippers. Let's give it 2 flippers up here and 1 flipper back here. Do you think it's done? Well, it kept walking and it saw some people walking around holding hats and umbrellas, and the chameleon said, "I've never had hats and umbrellas. I wish I could be like people." And pop! It got itself a very fancy black hat and decided to hold a fancy black umbrella. Now, it was looking very fancy indeed. And do you think it was very happy? Well, at that moment, a fly started buzzing around, and the chameleon really wanted to catch it, but it didn't have its long chameleon tongue. So it got a little sad and said, "Oh, I look magnificent, but I'm kind of mixed up. I kind of wish that I could just be myself." And do you think it worked? Well, pop! It did work. And there he was, a little green chameleon, and it stuck out its tongue, and it caught the fly, and it worked, because he just really needed to be himself. The end. Thanks for joining us today with Fort St. John Public Library's High Five. We'll be back next week with 5 more songs, stories, rhymes, books, games, whatever we miss from Storytime and Mother Goose on the Loose. If there's something that you're missing that you'd like us to cover, make sure you leave us a comment on our Facebook page. You can find links to our Facebook page and to some of our favorite resources for if you want some more inspiration for songs and rhymes and things to do at home with your little ones. We really miss you, and we will see you next week.